pass through, so they're trying to get this game finished as quickly as they can. Two outs here. And I'm sure these players really excited about the opportunity to get back there playing.
Yeah, I mean, coming off a 45-minute delay, your muscles get stiff, and you're sitting there. You want to try and figure out when they're going to let you get back to playing.
They get back to a flat to center field. That concludes the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, I should say. And it's a 13-run deficit now for Baugh, and sometimes it's amazing to see how things can change, especially with a rain delay.
Most definitely, and then, Backman Shop didn't want that rain delay to happen. They were rolling, they had the momentum, and this just gives Baugh Dorflinger a chance to come back and start over. Say, hey, let's regroup, let's get everything together, let's go out and free swing, and let's see if we can't cut this deficit in half, because they do have the hammer in the 7th.
Everybody check in right now. Everybody in the box. Come on.
So a big moment here for Baugh. We have a couple big games coming up next. Laser Vision and Bozzini was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Now we're an hour later. And Resmato is going to take on Line Drive in a game that was supposed to start in about 30 minutes from now. Obviously, that one's going to be pushed as well tonight to, I guess, potentially maybe 9:30 or so. Potential start time on that one?
Yeah, give or take, depending on how the Laser Vision Bozzini game goes. We could be looking at a 9:30, 10 o'clock start. That's if there's no inclement weather coming through too. If the cells move around, then we're fine. But they said there's one coming close, so hopefully it just stays away.
Always the challenge with that long break. Coming back on the field. Watson, the pitcher, gets a ground out for out number 1. That's probably a good start for him, especially coming off the break, because you never know how he might react to that long break.
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, obviously Backman wants that first out of this inning. And Baugh Dorflinger, they wanted a base hit. They want to get some guys on base, pass it down to the next guy, score a few runs. I'm sure the number they're looking at is 5 right now.
1 out. Base is empty. Time was called before the pitch. Pearson is at the plate.
So it looks as though L.C. Watson was taking a little bit too much time, and they called the ball on him.
It's a fine line, isn't it?
Most definitely. I mean, you obviously want to try to keep the batters off balance, but you don't want to put yourself in a hole by throwing a ball, by just taking too much time.
Popped out to left, 2 away now. And so the downside for Baugh is they're down to their final 4 outs here in this contest as Flood comes to the plate.
Yeah, this is a guy that can get them started, see how many runs they can score with 2 outs. Maybe at least get 2 or 3 this inning.
Into center. Quick inning.
That's a huge inning for Backman.
They head to the 7th. Backman Chop leading by 13. We'll come back to the Men's Major World Series right after this.
Since day one, Combat has been at the forefront of composite bats. Combat bats deliver on average a 15% larger sweet spot than the closest competitor. In today's game, where margins for error are small, Combat's on average 15% larger sweet spot means our bats reach maximum performance over a wider span. It's the difference between a home run or the warning track, a base hit through the middle or hitting into a double play. It's the difference between winning and losing.
Live your life to the fittest, because this year, Florida Hospital Sports Medicine and Rehab will help you feel young and healthy again. Ask your doctor or call now to discover if physical therapy is right for you. Results may include, but are not limited to, increased mobility, flexibility, and a greater quality of life. Ask your doctor for a referral to Florida Hospital Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, and really go for it this year.
About over the weekend, hail from the state of Minnesota, and they played together a lot. And
Lloyd Watson will lead things off.
Very, very competitive team, and if you don't come into a tournament like this with your eyes wide open, you can get in trouble.
Popped up. Foul territory.
Wow. That was a
That one
long
doesn't
run.
Get down, yeah. The Bermuda Triangle, if you will.
Yeah, LC was looking to blow it out of the park here, but what he needs to be doing is looking for a gap or a line drive here to flip that line up and get it to the top. You know, the one thing that I've noticed this year, you know, tonight, today, yesterday, as opposed to years past, is the ball's flying very well to
Right.
out of this stadium. Where, and I'm assuming it has to do with the weather, because it's not as warm. Because when it gets warm and what we're accustomed to here, you know, the 95, the 100-degree days, the ball just does not fly during the day. It flies at night, obviously, but what we've seen today throughout the whole day and all throughout yesterday is that the ball's been flying no matter what time of day it was.
That one might have been a candidate for a top play if it would have been finished. It'll go as a base hit, but not extra bases after a great defensive grab.
Yeah, this is where Backman wants to, you know, string some hits together, put at least 3 or 4 on the board, create that separation. Well, they definitely have the guys to do it.
Blackburn waits for it and lines it. And it gets out of there. Line drive home run, if you will.
Yeah, I thought that one was going to bank off the wall, but that kept going. Sailed right over for a 2-run home run. That's a good start for Backman this inning.
22-7.
Takes a little bit of pressure off him for right now.
That one got out of here in a hurry. The ball's really carrying tonight, isn't it? Here's Rainwater. He's been a part of a couple men's major World Series championship teams during his time.
Yeah, he was the MVP of this tournament in 07 and 011. So, you know, he definitely loves this field. He loves this tournament. And he loves hitting home runs.
The park, right?
Oh, it's foul.
Oh,
it was foul.
Foul.
Oh, no.
Look at how close this was to being a home run, as opposed to being a home run. It'll go in the book as an out.
Wow.
And we get a chance to take a look at it in a second. Kevin Kennington is the batter with one away.
Is this another foul out? It is. You don't see that often.
Back-to-back foul outs, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Still a lot of work left for Baugh to do.
Most definitely. You know, right now it's a 15-run deficit. They need to get these next 2 outs, get back into the dugout and just chip away.
Neil Haglin's the batter.
Good gracious.
Something's working right.
I don't know
what
what
get into play.
we would need to check that ball. Billy Barrett's putting on that ball. It's spinning inside and keeping these guys off balance. They're taking awful swings.
Sometimes everything works, right? Island ready. 1-1. Excuse me, 2-1. He'll take a walk.
Let him off the hook.
So there's 1 out with 2 outs. And here's Lopez. What type of a game is it going to take for Backman to move on to that winner's bracket final? Because obviously the biggest games right now for Precision and Backman potentially lie tomorrow night. Obviously we haven't seen Laser Vision or Rismondo advance, but obviously
they should. I mean, if they play the way that they're supposed to, as they have been all season, you project them to move on. And what Backman has to do, if and when they get through this game and come out as on top, is when they get to that game tomorrow night, they have to be flawless, both offensive and defensively, because they're going to get the best game that they can from Rismondo in the show game tomorrow night, and Backman's going to have to put up, a 22, 25 runs to even have a shot.
The bats have been good tonight for Backman. 22 runs on 22 hits, and the majority of this game was played earlier tonight, DT, in warmer conditions than it is now. Obviously, expect now that the sun has gone down, the weather is pushed through. It's a much cooler night, so you expect a higher scoring game, but the majority of the runs are scored when the ball was a little bit warmer than it is right now.
Yeah, the ball's still going to fly. It has cooled down a little bit. The wind's starting to blow in just a tad, so it's not blowing out, or there's no wind like it has been up until this point. So you can definitely tell that the tables have turned. The wind has changed. So you're definitely going to have to hit it. You're not going to flick it out of here like some of these teams have been doing up until this point. So Baugh Dorflinger is going to have to put some guys on base, get some base runners, maybe some key hits in the gap, maybe a couple home runs to get out of this 15-run deficit.
Lucas will lead things off. Backman needed 3 outs, and they're going to get 1 of them on a line out to center. One pitch, 1 out. Kyle Coward, easy play there.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter in Tommy Baugh.
I'd assume Laser Vision and Bazzini, they're ready to go. So you see out number 2. They don't want to waste any time getting on the field.
Yeah, I mean they've been loose. They've been playing catch. They've been stretching up on the mezzanine. So they're ready to go. I know the umpires are going to want to get this game going as soon as possible once both teams are ready.
There's another look at the defensive grab, and that'll bring Brian Zirkle to the plate now.
Yeah, if there's anybody that can get this team going with 2 outs, it's Zirkle. Leading off, being the leadoff guy for this team. He's kind of the spark plug.
And when turning, and it hits and lands in foul territory. And so Zirkle will need to straighten this one out. May end up being a beautiful night. Certainly a lot cooler.
It's very comfortable up here in the booth.
This should do it. And it's Backman advancing to Friday 22-7, the final score. They had to brave the elements a little bit to move on in the bracket, and now they'll face the winner of Resmondo and line drive coming up in our final game of the night.
Yeah, and if Backman continues to play like they did tonight with the defense and free swinging, put up the, like I said, 25 runs, they're gonna compete against Resmondo tomorrow evening, barring that Resmondo comes out of the line drive game with a victory.
Laser Vision, Bozzini on the field next here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. Will continue our coverage of the 2014 USSSA Men's Major World Series right after this.